Speaking of 50 Cent, you know what happens when 50 Cent the rapper goes and plays in Toronto?
Is he allowed in?
He becomes 65 Cent.
That's pretty good.
This CRA is sending out all these demand letters. Right now, they are 9 months behind in paying federal tax returns to the citizen. Not only are they not paying people what they owe, they're going after people for 50 cents. That is great for Canada. You are right. They are amazing. We are wrong. We stand corrected.
So there was one band in Canada, actually, that got the 50 cent tab, but they paid extra and got a nickel back.
Bob and Nate, true American heroes. Bob and Nate, true American heroes.
Welcome back to the 12th edition of Uneducated Men. We are your real American heroes, Nate and Bob. Nate, how are you today?
Doing great, Bob. How are you?
Doing fantastic. This is a big show, number 12. 12 is, I think, where you popped your cherry on a scooter. But we also have a special guest here today, our good friend from California, who's a liberal and Jewish, Bobo.
Well, half of those is true. But thank you.
Zimbabo.
Thank you.
Which ones are true?
I'm half Jewish and half liberal, so I'm actually I'm just
Next
kidding.
one.
No, me and Neto talked about this a bunch. Like, he still loves to classify me as a liberal. And that's because I voted for Clinton in 92 and not really up to the liberal, not up to my standards of what politics are. I would call myself a Republican. I don't believe in either party.
I think I was in 5th grade in 92. So.
Yeah. I was 26. No, I'm just kidding.
I remember reading the history books about 92.
Yeah. It was, but here's the thing. Like, I do love this country. I teared up. I cried. I was so happy to vote. And then after 96, I cried after I voted again. So it had a reverse effect. But no, I've always been a big politics guy. My dad was an attorney. He went to the Supreme Court. We sued the U.S. government for Agent Orange. So politics and responsibility of politics is a big thing in my life. But like over the last 10, 15 years, like I want nothing to do with it from either side.
Yeah, both sides are terrible.
You can't say it to either side because neither side believes you. You're like in this weird, I always say, like, I believe in both the death penalty and abortions. I'm like, kill them all. But, on both sides, that's an inflammatory statement. So
Could you kill a kitten? Do you find so much pride in voting and you cried? Did you vote for the last election?
No. I haven't voted since
Since
oh my
Clinton
God,
in 96?
I think the first Obama administration.
Okay, I don't blame you then.
Yeah. No, it was like 2008. I was like, okay, let's go. And then I was like, 2012, nah. 2016, nah. 2020, nah. 2024, nah.
2028 is going to be your year.
I think I'm going to run.
AOC.
To the poll?
Yeah. No, I got a new party and I want you guys to join me. It's called the Party.
Party?
Yeah, dude. 30-hour days.
I like it.
4-day work weeks.
So what Congress does now?
I was just going to say government, but awesome. That's our slogan.
Government sucks. So we have a little bit of a viral clip for us. I mean, it's not viral in terms of viral, but it's got like 200,000 views, and it's us talking about Trump, and it's the actual clip of him sleeping.
Which one?
And the most recent one where he scares himself when he wakes up. And man, have we got attacked on the X or whatever it's called now called a libtard. So this is a right-leaning podcast, but I'm getting tired of the right. But we are inclusive on this podcast, Bobby.
Totally. I feel it.
You're California liberal. We want to make sure.
I was going to say, like, when Trump first got elected in 2016, I wrote on Facebook, and this was the last time I got political on Facebook. I was like, let's give it 100 days. And I have never gotten more hatred. I was called, it's that same thing. Like, you can't say one thing either way, and everybody else just gets butthurt and offended by it. So, like, you guys are just awesome on your opinions, and I just appreciate it. So
that's why they call them extremists on each side, because they they're a little over the top.
They're saying the same thing, but different. It's like literally the same thing, but it's insane. It's angry, and there's no reasoning.
You could say just like the theory on Muslims and Jews having the same God.
Completely.
And still hate each other.
Can't agree more.
So you saw the take from Abu.
I did.
And just want to get your opinion. He's a Muslim, believes that the Zionist movement is the real issue in the Middle East. What is your thoughts?
I started listening and I couldn't listen anymore because I automatically just kind of shut it off. Everything is blame. Where's any responsibility? It's the only thing I want to hear. I don't understand like Zionist movement comparative to 1947 when Israel was first formed. And like, if you pull Israel out of there, they're going to fight each other. That's just the way it is. That is a very cantankerous, angry part of the world. It will never get not angry. Somebody will always be at fault. what I saw happen on October 7th was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. And the response, I think, is like, yeah, that's the response. And then after like the 5th month, I'm like, are we going to wrap this up? Like, and now after like the first year, it's like, okay, I guess not. How is any of it representative of us, right?
Right. So we had a little technical difficulty. We lost Nate, but he is back. Bobby, sorry to cut you off there, but you were just talking about how it's been at war for years. And
so I grew up in Chicago. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, unfortunately. And
Yuck.
Yeah, no, it's not been fun. The Jews and the Muslims are like the Bears and the Packers, right? I hate the Packers, but I respect them. Like, they exist. They're a franchise, but I've hated their quarterbacks, their 2 leaders, more than any 2 leaders in the history of the world. I love it when they lose. So that's like the best way I can equate it to is like a sports thing where I don't mind seeing them lose because I know we're also not going to win.
Are you going to cheer for the Indiana Bears?
No, go Skull.
The Vikings would be the Christians then, I would assume, in this religious conference.
Yeah, they're just kind of like letting everybody else do the fighting, and they're not going to win either.
And the Lions would be the Jehovah's Witnesses.
The atheists, the godless franchise.
Well, we appreciate your take. Well, Bobo, since you're Bobo and I'm Bob, we can call me by my nickname, T-Bone, throughout this show if you like. Yeah, T-Bone. All right, so let's talk about what we got wrong. We like to go back and correct some of the mistakes that we made last week. We talked about the Supreme Court decision. I said that the ruling was 5-3, which makes it an even number. It's actually 6-3. Not a big miss, but we also had a dad joke off, and there was a poll. I don't know if you knew about this, and the poll basically has concluded.
Hold on a second. Why is this in the part of the incorrect from last week bit?
It was just how I was on the list.
Okay,
Well, it's right next to, to be fair, it's right next to you calling yourself the captain, which I let it go last week, but you were the worst player on every team that you've ever played on. I don't know if you play Apex Legends, Bobby, but let me just tell you how this goes. It's a 3-man team. Nate goes, hey, those are some guys over there. Let's go fuck them up. Runs over there. We go, Nate, don't go over there. Oh, I'm down. Couldn't you come pick me up? That's how it is playing with
the Leroy
captain.
Jenkins.
Jenkins. Yep.
See what I'm saying? No, I get it. I used to be a Call of Duty guy, and when the crew kind of flipped over to Apex, I was unable to. It's too Fortnite-y for me, and the too much of the open world is too much for my brain. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, T-Bone, I'd follow Nate through the gates of hell.
Okay. So that's how this got lumped together. We'll end this here. So the poll came out 60-40 in favor of Nate and the dad joke off. And the American public has decided that Nate, in this instance, was funnier. Luckily, we live in the world of the United States, and we have the Electoral College. And there was 4 electoral votes that went along here. So that was Paul Pace, Abu, Melissa Nugent, and Abe Berry. And the Electoral College voted 3-1 in favor of me, Abe Berry casting the only vote for Nate, saying those 2 are like brothers, and he would always vote for him. So Nate won the popular vote, but I won the Electoral College of the dad joke off.
There was one true bit out of that, and I did win the popular vote. There was no Electoral College, and certainly a Barry would never ever vote for me. So I will take your concession. I did win. I am the funnier guy. You are funnier to look at, so you do have that.
Do you have a victory joke for us, Nate?
That was basically it. Robert saying that he won the Electoral College. That's kind of the joke.
That was the meta.
So we talked about video games. We got a lot of text messages about games we left out. So we just completely forgot about the Wii system and Wii Sports and Mario Kart that came with that. That's an amazing time. We missed Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, Gears of War. We didn't talk about the
I never played
Tetris.
any of those.
No, you never played any of those? Tetris? You never?
You're probably the best Super Mario Kart player I think I've ever seen. No, that would be
Indeed,
Mav.
I am.
That'd be Mav.
You don't have to pump them up.
I'm the captain in Mario Kart too.
No, I mean, like, when I get my butt handed to me, I will admit it. And many a Wii joystick has almost been thrown against a wall in frustration.
Yeah, I've had that happen. That's why they put the
Right,
rings on them
against
so
your,
people can break their
wrist.
TV.
How'd you feel about NHL there, Bobo?
I plead the fifth.
Good
No, it
times,
sucks. It absolutely sucks.
So Scotty Too Hottie reached out to me. I told a story about Resident Evil and the dogs bursting through the window and getting scared. That actually happened at Scott's house. I misremembered it. Funny story about Scott. We were college roommates. And one day I came home and he was sitting on the porch all alone. And I'm like, what are you doing, weirdo? And he's like, oh, just sitting here in the dark. I open up the house.
Sounds like a back mountain moment.
Very true. Open up the house, let him in. He kind of gets all weird and goes up to his room. Later on, he told me that earlier in that evening, he watched the Blair Witch Project and was too afraid to go inside.
not to get off topic here, but the Blair Witch Project, I don't blame him at all. I was convinced, and the world was convinced that was real. And I drove it. A friend was driving, but I rode in the truck from Fargo, 3 hours north, and I still didn't dare drive home. I was terrified. So I'm with you, Scotty.
I don't watch scary movies, but if I did.
I saw Blair Witch. I saw it in the theater, and it was packed theater opening night. And at the base of the theater, it was like a big auditorium. There was a certain family that had brought their baby at 11 o'clock at night, and the baby starts crying. And again, the intensity of the movie. And finally, after like a half hour, the lady walks out with the baby and the entire theater applauds, to which one of the younger women that she was with turns around and goes to the theater and goes, "She'll be back, y'all. Y'all just wait. She'll be back." And I had never
Was she
in my
talking
life.
about the mom or the...
The mom and the baby.
I thought she was talking about Blair Witch.
Sounds like Nate when he leaves the gay bar.
I'll be back, y'all.
So we talked about Punch-Out. Christopher Outlaw reached out to us, and we believe that's a fictitious name. At first, I thought it was a girl, and it was a girl's name, probably a girl named Jill. But then he said all the people that we missed. So we missed Von Kasler, we missed the Great Tiger, Bald Bull, the Sandman. So we missed quite a few people. So I'm pretty now sure that Christopher Outlaw is a guy, probably named Jax. So probably Jax or Jill.
Hold on a second. Do you have a mouse in your pocket? I didn't name a single one.
No, that's right. You couldn't name any of them.
That's right.
Way to participate. I said George Washington was 5'1", and I corrected it and said that's not true. He was actually 6 foot tall. That was very tall back then, as the average human or man was 5'4". We've gotten bigger through the years, and now people are about 5'9", with the Dutch being over 6 feet. So they're pretty tall dudes.
Yeah, not so much in the old Jewish community. We're still hitting that 5'8", 5'9" really hard.
But in the Jewish world, 5'9" is 6'3".
Exactly. I can make it 6'3".
Nate said that The Cable Guy was one of Jim Carrey's best films. Technically, it was a flop. One of his biggest flops. The only flops bigger were Man on the Moon and The Majestic. His top 5 movies were Sonic, Mask, Sonic 2, Bruce Almighty, and The Grinch, and not The Cable Guy.
Hold on. From my perspective, Cable Guy is number 1. Number 2.
Okay.
Box office does not relate to quality.
Very true. Shawshank Redemption was a flop, and it's one
Right.
of the greatest movies of all time. I'm just pointing out the facts here, guys. Don't get
your
mad at the
fact-
messenger.
Your fact is Cable Guy is comparable to Shawshank Redemption. Is what you're saying.
At the box office, and it's comparable to crap everywhere else. I don't know. I didn't have a
To
joke.
bombing.
Anyway, Dr. Seuss, I said his last name was Gazelle, which is, it's Giselle. Yeah, or Gissel.
So he used to live in San Diego, and this is not a lie. He used to live in this mountain called Mount Soda in San Diego. And there were like 30 houses all around him in this like big old mountain that were little people houses. So we would always drive around to go, like, you want to go see Dr. Seuss's house? Because it was really cool. And then you would drive by, and literally like by his house were all these little people houses that had little front doors. It was like literally a Dr. Seuss mountain. It was the coolest thing in the world. I loved hearing you guys talk.
Man, you know what? I got to tell this little person's story, but not now. Joey Chestnut. We didn't talk about him, but he went on to win his 18th hot dog championship. But we did talk about WNBA players not liking wieners. That's not technically true. 60% of them identify as heterosexual women, which got me thinking. I know I don't believe it either, but it's what it said. It's 40%.
Interesting.
This got me thinking, when you see some of these WNBA women, and this is probably going to get us in a little bit in trouble, so if you don't want to chime in, please don't. But are they lesbians because they like women, or are they lesbians because men don't like them? Brittany Griner is 6'9" with a size 17 shoe. Right? There's guys in prison that are straight that have boyfriends because there's just no women to date them.
She probably played on the men's team, too, and in the men's locker room, and probably identified as one of them.
At some point, if no man is getting with you, do you just say, fuck it, I'm going to like women?
No matter what, there's always a guy that'll do it. Period.
No.
No, there's always. It doesn't matter. I don't think running out of peckers or wingers is anything women have to worry about. Like, they play like dudes, except for, well, I don't know, the dunking and athleticism. But no, I think I am shocked that it's only 40%.
There's men like Napoleon Dynamite's older brother that would pretty much take anything.
I'm telling you.
They're that guy. So you see a photo, like half the photo of like a wedding photo. You're like, oh my God, who would marry her? And guaranteed you slide your hand over it, some skinny white dude with a mustache.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about FIFA. FIFA Nate, I don't know if you did some research, but we asked, how does FIFA make money? How do they pay people similar to the NBA? I know you looked into this. You want to give us an update?
I don't think it was about how they make money. It was, where do all the ticket sales go? Because they obviously don't have contracts to pay for. But yes, what we did find out is FIFA does get the door for all of these matches. The cities don't get the door. I'm sure they get food and beverage, but all of that money, which adds up to about $18 billion, goes straight to FIFA. And then they pay out some of the stuff, like the winning teams get their amount. They have to pay for vendors, yada, yada, which comes to about $4 billion. So it's quite the profitable enterprise that FIFA's running.
Do they have to rent the stadiums?
They don't, no. They'll have to pay the labor for the cashiers, and I could even be wrong about that. The people taking care of the field, the referees, but no.
The host country foots a lot of the bill because of the boom that it brings to the economy. Because it's 2 months. A lot of the players don't make a lot of money, so most of them, think max is like $500,000, and the bigger players donate it to charity.
I think that's for the tournament, but they also get annual salaries, then your sponsors. So it's all sort of like indirect, direct payment. And then now, remember when we were growing up, or when I was growing up and you guys were babies, they were making like $25,000 a year. And it was because of the strict athleticism and amateur athletics. We'd be surprised at how much more they make than they actually make.
Now, not all tickets are inflated. If you were to go on Ticketmaster for an American game, you're probably paying minimum $2,000, $3,000 for a ticket. But each country does get allocated a certain amount that is at a flat rate of $60 a ticket. So a lot of these people that you see coming from Cape Verde, which I would assume they can't afford $3,000 tickets for each game they go to, they're probably a part of that allocation to where they pay a $60 flat fee, and they're able to come here and enjoy themselves.
And they have enjoyed themselves. If you see some of the people here that are trying Chick-fil-A for the first time, and some of our foods are like, oh, man, or air conditioning, which I don't think they have in Europe.
And the ranch dressing.
It's fun to watch, though, man. Like on the news, the bad rap that the U.S. has gotten over the better part of 20 years in their media, and then they come here, they're like, holy shit, this is nothing what we were told. America's awesome. They posted on social media saying that. So, no, it's great that people got a good peek at what American culture is.
And I like that they did it all over the country and all over really sort of North America. Yeah, exactly. Yep. What a way to really show everything off.
You know who's the most excited that it was in the United States? Justin Trudeau, or however the fuck you say his name.
Trudeau.
He was super excited. Like, yes, I get out of Canada.
He's got those Katy Perry soccer balls to play with.
All right, let's jump into the show. So last week we talked about traffic cone gate, as we called it. We wondered why there's so many cones and no work being done. So we did some research. But Bobo, I heard you have a take on traffic gate.
All right, guys. I don't know if you're ready for this, but I did some serious research. Now, what we had to do is ask ourselves, who's going to win in the cone gate? Who's this for?
There's no winners in cone gate.
I'm going to disagree with you here, Nano. If you follow the money, number one, cone manufacturers. I mean, we don't know if they're a part of the city council or not, who's making these decisions to get this done. Then, with all these cones going on, you got car accidents happening. Who does that benefit? Insurance companies. So do we know what percentage of cone manufacturers are owned by actual insurance companies? Insurance companies bring in billions of dollars a year. They divest their money into other different things. I'm saying they put them into cone manufacturing, and that's causing all these accidents. Who else wins with the cones, these accidents? Collision companies, right? Your auto repairs, your tire companies, your brake companies. So here's the deal. Cars are getting smarter, right? They're not breaking down like they used to. They're computers now. So now these collision companies need a reason to have these cars coming in, and so they can mess around with them. Now, if you look at the secondary markets, you're also looking at GPS. All these GPS companies who are rerouting everybody. Rerouting means you're not taking your normal route, which means you're using more gas. Gas companies, right? Then, if you're looking at it, now we have people who are in their cars longer. Who's it going to serve? Podcast company. Podcast companies. It was you guys who were responsible for ConeGate. Yeah, I figured it out, didn't I?
You forgot the manufacturer, though. You can't sell somebody a car that owns a car.
You forgot the attorneys, Morgan and Morgan.
If you're injured, call Morgan and Morgan for the people.
I'm telling you, I know it's you guys. And then bringing attention to it to get the scent off. Brilliant.
You got us.
Yep.
You're like Scooby-Doo.
Like Scrappy-Doo.
Like Zoinks.
I reached out to the county. I got a lady named Amy Reyna on the phone, and she didn't speak English very well. I said, hey, can you help me with this? And she said, yes. I said, okay, here we go. Anyway, first what she told me was it's an urban myth that the contractors only get paid once the cones get down. They actually get paid in milestones. Think you have a 4-mile stretch of highway. Every mile is a milestone. The county comes out and they inspect it. Once they inspect it and sign off, then they get paid for it. So this urban myth that they're only getting paid is not accurate. Also, there's 2 different companies. So there's a Bob's Barricade company that goes out and gets permits for the cones. And then there's a construction company. They have a date that it starts. So you have the Barricade company says we're going to start on the 1st. They go down and put the cones down on the 1st. But Nate's construction company is delayed because it usually is. And their cones sit there empty. That's another reason why you can see a bunch of cones but no work. Also, the county has to inspect before the cones can be removed. Again, counties are very slow. And then lastly, sometimes the work is done, but it just needs to sit for a few days for the roads to cure. Those are the reasons that you may see cones and no construction, per Amy Reyna. And again, she didn't speak English very well, so I'm not exactly sure if that's all correct. That's what I could gather.
She also said to put all your money on Conor McGregor.
Yes, which I lost.
I was told, and which, again, this could be wrong, by a admin that does work for a road working company that said they can start billing once the cones are down.
Probably, yes. The permits are pulled for 2 different things. You have to have cones down before you can start the construction, but you could put cones down by company A, and then the construction company is 3 or 4 days late because they were not finishing up on another job. So yes, they can't start until the cones are down. It's 2 different permits.
Now, can I ask you guys this, like sort of going back to politics without it being politics, is why do you think that the manner of bureaucracy is so difficult to get things done quickly and proficiently?
Your state's different than most. You go to a red state like Florida, things fly through, houses get built. You in California have so many different studies and unions and
tests and
all the red tape. Yeah, exactly. I read somewhere that it takes 3 years to build a house in California. 3 years because of all the regulatory.
Right. That's
things.
what I mean. Like, it's like all these different departments, like you have to jump through all these hoops. Yep. And I guess I was wondering if it was more national as opposed to more state.
Well, they want to spread that money around, and that's why the state taxes are highest in California, but yet the roads are the worst. You got to pay everybody in between.
I just went to California this week. Listen, California's beautiful. It's probably one of the greatest places on earth. I went to the Sequoia National Forest, and man, was it incredible. And now I know what you and Abu feel like, looking up at me and Nate all the time, being that we're 6'1", 6'3".
It's caused a bad neck.
Amazing place if you ever get the opportunity to go.
I honestly, and I guess too, like, one of the questions that I have is, what do you have against paying taxes? Why do people work so hard? I do understand, like, being overtaxed. Why don't we just do a 25% income tax? And then, like, I don't mind paying state tax to pay for the things that we have.
Nobody minds that. I mean, willing to pay your fair due. When I'm paying for a Leering Center in Minneapolis to not watch kids, that's where I draw the line.
No, I agree with that. I totally agree with.
But it's your overtax. You are taxed on your income right away. Right. They take your money from you. Then you take that money, you go buy something, and you're taxed on that. Then you buy a car, and you're taxed on that. Every little thing you do, there's a fee or a tax associated. You want to live in a house, there's a tax. You want to use a road that's faster, there's a tax. There's a point where you're just like, what am I paying for?
Right.
Am I getting my money's worth?
I think more so, too, is where does it go? Like, I think that, to me, is why I care less about, like, politics as much. Let's just be honest about where the money is. If we could check off, like, oh, okay, because I don't have kids, so I don't mind that my tax dollars goes for public education. I really don't.
Well, you can't have a dumb country.
Well, I love, too, how Linda McMahon is the head of the Department of Education. Because I just got the new textbooks, and apparently the Iron Sheik was the ruler of Iran up until Hulk Hogan defeated him in '91 for the championship in Iraq.
That's why Hulk Hogan is a true American hero as well.
A real American hero.
Yeah, we should get him on the show.
He's dying to.
Oh, geez. Do you ever see his ex-wife and his new girlfriend and then his new wife? They all look exactly the same.
Yeah. They're all like these bars, like cell phone bars, except it gets bigger as it gets older.
So there was a guy named Graham Plattner. He was running for the a Senate seat in Maine. And he'd won his primary on the far left of the spectrum, I guess. Anyway, he just resigned because there's some allegations. There was actually a lot of allegations against him, but recently sexual assault allegations came out. Now, I don't want to talk too much about him, but what I do want to say is this is a pattern that you're seeing. You had Eric Swalwell from your state, where they came out with allegations against him. The allegations came out in a very left-leaning publication, and all of a sudden he had to drop out of the race. Well, the reason why I want to talk about this is because it ties into the Epstein files. If you heard us talk about this, I believe very strongly that the Epstein files will never be released because there's people in there that they can control. Graham Plattner was a controllable asset because they knew all these things on it. These parties know everything about anything.
Right.
At this point, it's you do as we say, vote as we want you to, conform, or if not, we're just going to end you. And now you're seeing this happen more and more. It happened with Joe Biden. Now you see Swalwell, he's out. Just want to get your thoughts on that perspective, controllable assets and the Epstein files.
I mean, Eddie Murphy said it best, what have you done for me lately? If you've got no value to that party, of course, they're going to eliminate you. And just kind of like corporate America, too. Once you have no value, you're gone. I don't necessarily think that's the same case as why the Epstein files are still buried. I think you do have a valid point that if those names are released, you can't control them anymore. I'm not sure it's that in depth. I don't think Democrats are that smart.
Listen, they are the strongest, most organized. They're also in the government. There was viable claims of Swalwell before he got released. They knew that they could control him if he got elected. And all these guys, they all liked him until they started polling bad. Joe Biden wasn't going to win, so they got rid of him. Swalwell wasn't going to win, or the way the primaries worked there, where it wasn't going to be even Democrats at all. They got rid of him. This Graham Plattner guy, they were all about him until he started to fall in the polls, and now he's gone. I think a male with a penis and a background is the greatest candidate for one of these political establishments because they will dictate everything.
Well, I think, like, especially to your point, the biggest part is controllable assets. It doesn't matter. They have the files. Whatever it is you did, they know of. The bigger point for me is that, like, these are democratic problems. Like, I stopped becoming a Democrat when they, and I'm not a Bernie Sanders guy, but when Bernie Sanders was obviously the clear choice of the Democrats and they did the Hillary Clinton machine. And that was literally when I was like, literally wash my hands of it, because obviously my vote does not matter. Why is it always this sexual assault stuff that goes to the Democrats? Republicans don't care about that stuff. These almost former hot button issues that you could really control. Why they tried to get Trump with the R word, and he was an R wordist and an R wordist. It's just terms, and with racism and with rape, like, they've used these terms so much, they've made them useless, especially on the Republican side. Like, this kind of stuff would not stop a Republican, would not drop out from it. And
we had Matt Geddes in Florida that had to drop out.
He had already established, and he's already a legacy guy, right? And 17 is the age of consent in New York and Florida.
Yeah. I think 16 in some states. I think Alabama's 16.
That tracks.
Yeah. Nate, any last words on the controllable assets?
Now let's move on.
All right, perfect. I figured we'd have some fun. And you've probably heard the term first world problems. Most dorky people say it, but something happened the other day and I was like, man, this is it. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts on any first world problems that we have that just piss you off.
The most amazing thing that I've seen over the last several years are, like, people who have expectations that their job should pay their health insurance, should pay for their lunch. The hostility that people have towards their employer is something I still can't even understand.
Coming from the guy that said we should all pay taxes.
That's the government.
That's impressive.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, you're saying we should all pay taxes for childcare or
absolutely
for education, yada, yada. So I'm just shocked that would be your take.
Why?
It's very unsocialist for you to say that, Mr.
But I mean,
Sanders.
but we are socialists. Like, our fire and police department, I mean, like, the things that we pay for go into our social causes. I really don't mind if somebody in my state needs it, like, they can use it. I'm all for my neighbors.
We have social services. We're not socialists. We're a capitalistic society for now.
It just seems like a different perspective for when you say that we should pay for all this stuff, in which I agree with you, the things that we need, like road work and such, we do need, and paying for law enforcement. But yeah, for an employer, it just seems like a dichotomy, I guess, of your perspective. But I agree with you.
I mean, the expectation.
Nothing pisses me off more than people coming in complaining about their work when they've worked there for 10 years. And I said, go find a different job. If you don't like it, go find something else.
Like,
if I don't like where I work.
Biggest first world problem. I'm not happy here. Go!
No, you got to change around me. I'm not going to change. Nate, what do you got? What's your big first world?
Slow Wi-Fi. Oh man, I get pissed. I get so mad if I start seeing that circle on my phone. We have been putting people on the moon for 80 years, and we can't get my goddamn phone call to go through.
Yeah. Slow Wi-Fi sucks. It aggravates me. You ever turn off the Wi-Fi on your kids and then it's like they come, what happened to the Wi-Fi?
It's over. It's Armageddon. Stop choking your sister.
Yeah. So for me, it's having to put my password. If my phone doesn't recognize my face or the website doesn't recognize my password, having to actually type in a password just infuriates me. Are you fucking kidding me? They send me like one of those texts and you have to type in the number and it doesn't auto-populate. I'm like, oh, I got to scroll through. So that's, I think, a big first world problem for me.
It's amazing that not all of these, so any software, any website you have to get into, why do they all have different, I guess, algorithms that you have to put in? Like you have to have one capital letter, one lowercase, and nothing that repeats itself and nothing in an order as far as 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next one's like, we're cool with 7, however you want it. We're down to 2 styles of cell phones, iPhones and Samsungs. So, I mean, the world's getting like a new world order all one, but passwords all over the place. Doesn't matter which one it is. It's completely different than the next one.
That's why your phone needs to just save it all for you. You don't have to deal with that shit anymore.
Well, I was going to say, we all just use this same one anyway. So if somebody hacks in and figures out your password, they can do it for everything that you have.
And so one of my biggest pet peeves, which is a big first world problem, is unseasoned Doritos. What pisses me off the most is the bag before it was like the gold standard of Doritos. Every chip was perfectly dusted with seasoning and it was perfect. And the next one is like tortilla chips. So that is my third world.
Have you had the salsa verde?
I haven't had the salsa verde, but the tapatio are the best.
Salsa verde will change your perspective.
Okay, I'm willing to try.
Why fix something that's not broken? Cool Ranch, my guy.
Cool Ranch is great. So 30, 40 years ago when I was a kid, Cool Ranch Doritos used to have like a window on the front and you'd be able to look at it. You'd like shake the bag to see if you're going to get one of those bad bags. And they figured that shit out and they sealed it in. I wrote to them as a kid and I was like, hey, can I buy the Dorito seasoning? Because I love Cool Ranch so much. And they said no. And they sent me some couple free bag vouchers. Oh. But why wouldn't they just sell seasoning? I would buy that seasoning without question every time I buy a bag and just, you screwed me over. Just come on, Doritos, get with it.
Coke won't sell their syrup because they're afraid you're going to reverse engineer it and make your own, make Bobitos.
What do you mean? I can buy a bag in the backs right now and probably reverse engineer it.
What's it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll get back to you next podcast.
I can't wait.
I'm going to call it Pepsi.
New Coke.
Make Coke.
What else you guys got? Anything else from first world? Any other first world problems?
I was going to say, like, third world issues is I connected with your guys' Nigerian fan base, and they are
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
No, you don't understand. It went to Nigeria.
Oh, they migrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Listen, wherever they're at, as long as they're listening,
it went east, them. I think. But no, they think you guys are number one.
Yep,
very number one.
I agree with them.
And Bob, you really have a wonderful, beautiful voice. It's very soothing.
I appreciate it.
Got that T-bone's just syrup.
My last first world problem is my massage therapist only takes cash for the extra stuff. I don't carry that much cash, so I got to stop at the bank. Just take a Zelle or something. What the?
Either way, you're doing a digital receipt. So
yeah,
I would say just start stockpiling cash.
That brings up another first world problem. The withdrawal fees at an ATM on the strip. It's what,
I thought you were going to say withdrawal fees for a massage therapist.
There is a withdrawal fee. I should know it. And she only takes cash for it.
They call that a sad ending.
That sounds like most of my relationships.
Pretty much.
$12 to take out money on the strip.
What?
Yeah, that's what it costs now. $12 fee.
Dude, what are you guys doing in that city?
Taking you for every nickel you got.
Yeah. That is insane. If you could change Vegas for the better, what is the one thing you guys would do to make
legalize
Vegas?
Prostitution?
I'd move there.
Yeah. This is going to come across as if I don't pay for it yet.
What if the prostitutes only take cash, though?
Well, then Bob would come across her.
I have a $12 fee.
So, okay, what would you do, Nano?
I don't know. We come under a lot of scrutiny with our pricing. So if we're to do something across the board, can't just be one company or one casino. We got to be more realistic with what the economy looks like and what our clientele is.
But you got to be careful because too low of a pricing doesn't bring in the crowd that you want.
You get that circus.
Yeah, at some point it becomes like, if you remember during COVID, the Wynn dropped their pricing for the first time ever, and they had this huge brawl on their casino floor that went viral, and they were like, that's it. We're raising back our price. We'll never lower it again because there is a downside to lower prices.
It was the type of people that were coming in across the board. You didn't have the wealthy people getting their PPE money and racing to Vegas. So it was everybody getting their, I forget the name of it, but it's been so long ago. Jesus, 6 years ago now since COVID.
Stimulus?
Yeah, there you go. There's stimmy checks. And in California, prisoners were even getting stimmy checks and sending to their family members.
Well, in all fairness, they wouldn't have heard about it if they didn't get it with their free phones.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
internet. They have better Wi-Fi than Nano.
They probably have some first world problems they're talking about.
Man. What are the other thing too I wanted to ask too, like, is I don't know if you guys recognize this at post-COVID with the way people behave and going back to the New World Order. In California now, people just walk in the middle of the street, like they walk their dog in the middle of the street. Like sidewalks don't exist anymore. And I feel like people have like jumped the shark in terms of sort of acting the way society used to be to now everybody is so self-involved that it is hard to almost put that back into the box.
One thing that you saw in Vegas during that whole COVID time was the little scooters for handicapped people, rascal scooters. Dude, you would see biker gangs of rascal scooters going down Las Vegas Boulevard because these fat, lazy people didn't want to walk. So now you got people that actually need these scooters that are sitting there at the front desk and they're saying, oh, sorry, we just had 12 of them go to a bunch of kids that are now popping wheelies on Las Vegas Boulevard.
That's why Southwest got rid of the way that they did things, because you would see a line of wheelchairs, like of people trying to get onto the plane, 50 wheelchairs deep, and then not a single wheelchair once they landed because the wheelchair people got on first. I haven't seen anybody walking down the street, but there seems to be a ton of kids on e-bikes, like flying down the streets. That's a little scary to me because I'm always afraid that somebody's going to get hit.
Yeah, I think the first 4 months in Vegas, we had more fatalities on e-bikes than all of 2025 combined. They're going to regulate it, but it's just dumb kids.
That was a great segment. I think if we held a poll today, everybody would think that I won that segment, but it was not a competition. But what is a competition is the NFL. So earlier in one of our podcasts, we talked about the top 5 teams to win the Super Bowl based upon the Vegas ratings. And I think it was the Rams, the Seahawks, the Ravens, and Bills. And there was somebody else. Those were the top 5.
Lions, perhaps?
But, no, Lions weren't in there. It was Chargers were 6. Anyway, one of our super fans, his name's Little PP Eric. He used to sell PP machines. He's a big Miami Dolphins fan. He said, hey, where do you think the Miami Dolphins will finish? I said, they're going to finish last, kind of joking, knowing that he was a fan. Hey, have you guys ever heard the Miami Dolphin fight song?
No.
It is so bad. It's like, Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen Miami Dolphins. I'm going to cut it in later, but it sounds just like that. It's so terrible.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl.
Anyway.
And please cut that too with a video on it and put it on TikTok because your face looks
got it.
amazing.
Yeah, it always has. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate the compliment. Mm-hmm. However, so I looked up the bottom 5 from a Vegas betting perspective, and Miami Dolphins were number 2. So Arizona was the least favorite to win. Miami Dolphins, Jets, Las Vegas, and the Browns. And I know we're football fans here. Who gets the number 1 pick in next year's draft, meaning they are the worst team? And do they select Manning or Dante Moore from Oregon?
I can't see Cleveland doing anything again. Like,
well, they get back their quarterback.
Right? And got rid of their best defensive player in the last 50 years. Who's their coach again? Stefanski's gone, right?
Stefanski, but did they get rid of him?
They got rid of Stefanski, yeah. I'm not sure who the coach is.
Yeah, and Haslam's insane.
He was a Flying Jays, right?
Right. I think I'm going Cleveland. You have to take Manning and ruin his career. Oh, that's right. And they got Shaduki, and Deshaun. I mean, like, oh my God.
Yeah, and they also have my massage therapist guy. Probably had a lot of cash on him.
Greatest. Like, not enough has been done with his story. Because he was doing 20 a week. Like, that guy was awesome.
Listen, if you can pay for it and then just have somebody clean you up afterwards, if I had that kind of money and I could just pay a couple $100 and be like, all right, clean me up and go away, I would do it.
He didn't have a sore muscle in his body, I bet.
Yeah, no.
He had one.
His wallet. Again, like, going back to, like, I really feel, especially between 2012 and 2020, like, getting people in trouble became the number 1 cause in America. Okay. Harvey Weinstein's awful. Okay, Louis C.K. is gross. All right, Aziz Ansari just got a BJ, and now you're like, the abuse of men's sexuality, I think, has become the only way to really tear him down.
It's the easiest way to tear him down.
Yeah.
Like, you just come out and say that your guy's a creeper. All guys are creepers. We're put on this earth for one thing, and then to bash them for doing it. Now, there's got to be norms, and you can't just go out and jerk off in front of somebody. Nate found that out the hard way.
Yeah, and the soft way. He's so talented.
You beat me to it.
Nathaniel, who do you got as the worst team in the NFL this year?
I don't see the Jets getting any better. Man, is Fields still their starting quarterback?
No, he's gone. I think he's done, right?
Who would it be?
So they have no quarterback. So there you go.
Who is their guy?
Yeah,
Didn't
I can't even think of it.
No, they had 2 first-round picks, right?
They did.
They had like the
Did they get a
defensive
quarterback?
dude.
Well, even if they did, this year's class was pretty awful anyway. I haven't seen the Jets do anything that will progress themselves from last year. So I'm going Jets first pick in the draft.
We'll have to look into this and see what they got, and we'll follow up on the next show. But I think Arizona is definitely got to be up there. I think they lost Kyler Murray, and
That's kind of addition by subtraction.
but if you're going to say of these teams, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings to finish last. The Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. I think they go with Dante Moore because they're not smart enough to take Manning. So Minnesota Vikings is my pick.
Why is Manning put on a pedestal for it? I thought he was terrible. He was on a good team.
Finish strong.
Well, he just wasn't as good as I think people had.
Right.
Well, he just made him out to be the greatest thing of all time, and it's a learning curve. He played better as the year went along, and he's a Manning.
Right.
He's got that. It's just he's been around football his whole entire life. So
Would he have been the starter for Texas last year if he wasn't a Manning? I don't think so.
that's a good question.
He's like, again, it's that thing of like, he's a brand. Like, and no matter what, you can blame him when everything goes wrong.
He's got the genetics, he's got the brand, he's got the support, obviously, and 2 uncles that can personally train him. He's got the
Pedigree.
tools. Yeah, he's got the pedigree, he's got the tools. Let's just see if he can put it all together.
And real quick, can somebody explain why everybody thinks Lamar Jackson's the best player in football?
Who's everybody?
I just always hear, like, maybe it's more so the players. Like, he is not as good as I think everybody thinks he is, or am I wrong?
I think he's a great NFL player. I don't think he's a very good NFL quarterback.
Great way of putting it.
Yeah, where'd you hear that before?
Some guy said that about Patrick Mahomes, and I think Patrick Mahomes went on to win 4 Super Bowls or something right after that.
I stand by my words.
You said that about Mahomes, Neto?
Yeah, he said
Oh my God,
about,
that's the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
I still have the video. I might clip it in here. He was hammered at a bar, and he's like, Patrick Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes is a great NFL player. He's a dog shit quarterback compared to Joe Burrow.
It's like, how does a guy like that slip through 9 other teams? That's why it's all a crapshoot, isn't it?
Well, Tom Brady went in the 6th round. Every team passed on Tom Brady because they just didn't think he was going to be a good quarterback. It turned out they were wrong.
Ryan Leaf was just misunderstood. He could have been a Pro Bowler.
Oh
Hall
my
of
God, that
Famer.
dude had, you talk about the definition of a 10-cent head.
What?
$1 million arm.
Wait a second. Hold on. What's a 10-cent head? I've never heard of this.
Oh, it's $1 million arm, 10-cent head. Like, that arm will get him millions of dollars, and that head is going to make him broke.
Yeah, which did happen.
Yeah.
That
Just like all the talent in the world. I worked at Fox Sports for a long time. We were at like the Super Bowl, like for Media Week, and it was in San Diego. And it was Rob Johnson. We were with like a couple different quarterbacks. I think Eric Kramer was there with us. And Ryan Leaf walks in and he goes, Rob Johnson, number 3 best Pac-10 quarterback. Ryan Leaf, best Pac-10 quarter. Like, he went to everybody in the thing and like talked about how I think it was like his rookie or sophomore or second year, and just shit talked everybody. And when he left, everybody's like, that's the worst person any of us have ever seen. Oh my God. It was insane being around that guy because he brought such negative energy everywhere he went. Rob Johnson.
Rob Johnson won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right?
Yeah. So guess he was wrong about that as well. Bobby, let's talk about Canada.
Canada sucks 'cause it's cold.
I think I really don't like your guys' perspective on this.
That's where all the liberals live.
Dude, my buddy was there or his wife was there, got sick, probably would have had $10,000 worth of bills in the U.S. in and out of the hospital. Took care of her.
Okay. Nate, let's try this again. Nate, let's talk about Canada.
Canada sucks 'cause it's cold.
Fuck Canada.
Terrible.
Let's play a fun game. Bobo, tell us one good thing about Canada.
Besides universal health care, which I think we can all agree
debatable. Yeah.
is good. You know, there's always going to be.
I cannot understand how you could even not think that's the most amazing thing.
It's great if you wait 6 months to get in for whatever you have. There is no time limit whatsoever. You could get shot in the hip and they'll be like, that wasn't the heart. We'll see you in 4 months.
Quality of care in the United States is better than Canada, and most Canadians with money will come to the United States to get a better treatment. When it's standardized, when everybody gets socialism, everybody gets exactly the same thing, the doctors have no incentive to be any better than the other doctor.
Doctors who get paid millions of dollars have no incentive to get better. They're getting their rate.
I disagree with that. They're going to start their own practice.
When you have an incentive to be better. So if you ever worked in a union, this is a classic thing. So
I did.
A union doesn't care how good of a worker you are. If you and me started at a union, you were the best worker and I was the worst worker, you would still always get a better shift. You would always get the days off before me. You would get everything because you started before me. At that point, why am I incentivized to be a better worker when the worst worker gets everything else I want because he started one day before?
This goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's not up to you. You don't have to stay there. And a union only gets...
Here's the thing. You do have to stay there if it's all based off seniority, because if you say this place sucks because I'm low seniority, you're going to go to the next spot. Now you're lower in seniority.
But you're also making the same amount of money because a union only guarantees you the lowest they can pay you, not the highest they can pay you. So if you don't negotiate for a higher rate, that's on you.
But no employer is going to pay extra to somebody else because then
I'm just saying but that's all within the free cap system is you're still free to negotiate your pay. We just know the lowest that you can pay me with this union job.
No, one for one, one for all when it comes to the union. You can't make more money. And you're talking, who cares?
It's the lowest they can pay you. They're budgeted for a certain amount.
Bob was right. They can pay you more because we've had conversations about paying more for distressed positions. It is the lowest amount, but no employer is going to go out and pay individually different to other people. That creates the why does this person get it over me type of environment.
And that's where I was going.
They just won't do it.
Yes, you can pay more. That is the lowest that they can make on that negotiated price. But if you do it for one, you have to do it for all.
I see there again. I disagree. Again, now you're talking about the inner workings, and it depends on the business. In Purdue chicken farms, where everybody is a union feather puller, everybody's getting paid the same rate.
That is the correct job title too for that role.
Is it? Feather puller? Let me tell you what I like about Canada. Nothing. The Canadian Revenue Agency, called the CRA, sent out 3,400 demand letters to Canadian citizens that owed $2 less in back taxes. 3,400 letters. It costs more to send the letters than they would get back. One lady got a bill for 50 cents. The postage alone costs more than that in Canada. Speaking of 50 Cent, you know what happens when 50 Cent, the rapper, goes and plays in Toronto?
Is he allowed in?
He becomes 65 cents.
That's pretty good.
This CRA is sending out all these demand letters. Right now, they are 9 months behind in paying federal tax returns to the citizen. Not only are they not paying people what they owe, they're going after people for 50 cents. That is great for Canada. You are right. They are amazing. We are wrong. We stand corrected.
I'm saying 30 million people. That's like half California. We're not talking about an overwhelming amount of citizens.
So there was one band in Canada, actually, that got the 50 cent tab, but they paid extra and got a nickel back.
You waited all that time for that?
They are Canadian, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, I always thought they were Australian.
No, what? You know, the Australia calls the rest of the world up over.
The Upovers? That's another great place. Have you ever been there?
Australia?
Yeah.
Never?
No.
It's...
My first stop's going to be Zimbabwe. Maybe we'll check out Australia.
Not Mozambique? Or what was the...
You do a world tour, and that's on the list of places, too.
It's just a great place to be. But here's what I'll say about Canada. It's nice. I mean, it's nice. People are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like real nice there.
I spent a lot of time in Canada growing up, and every time we'd go up to one of their bars, they'd want to fight us. So I'll disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
But see, I grew up in Illinois, and they do the same thing in Wisconsin. Idiots.
I thought it was called Wisconsin with Love.
To who?
To put a bow on the Canadian thing is just their women are unattractive. That's why I don't like them.
It's not all bad.
Well, they do have Shania Twain.
Remember, anybody that is worth anything, good looking, smart, intelligent, moved. And not that Thoreau is any of those things, but my man's gone. He's never going back to Canada. He's going to live in California the rest of his life.
So they're smart, too.
Yeah, California's amazing, except for the 77% taxes. They had a temporary tax on the 1%ers or however the top earners. It was 13%. Was, hey, let's get out of this physical deficit that we're in. They just made it official. Now it's 14% state income tax on the top earners. We talked about Shohei Ohtani. He has a deferred contract where he's going to get $680 million of his contract after he retires. And the reason being is because it'd be $98 million in taxes if he accepted it today.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, the poor guy can't buy 35 different mansions. He has to pay his fair share and what he has to pay.
How's that fair share? How's $98 million from
because
one person?
he's making
Fair share.
$700 million.
There we
Because
go,
of
Bernie
his
Sanders.
skill.
No, that is the tax rate.
Yeah, but he's making the money not because of his tax rate. He's making the money because he has a skill that no other player
He
has.
lives
He's a Cy Young
here,
pitcher,
and this is the
home run
state he
hitter.
works in. Here's the trash. Like, those guys all have to pay taxes in every state they work in. Like, every time they get paid, their accountants.
I don't think that's true.
Check it.
I don't think that's true. I do know this, that any player, especially in the NFL, that played in California can file for some type of disability that only California offers. And retired NFL players are collecting disability from the state of California because they played games in California, like millions of dollars a year. We'll look into that. That's one of the social
No, I'm
services
telling you,
that people
look
take
into it,
advantage of.
Even if Owatani paid that $98 million, the roads will still suck in California.
So what? It's still the most beautiful place and best place to live. Like, it's hilarious. Florida is the state of Epstein. The weather's gross there. The people are pretty pathetic, but nobody craps on Florida like they do California. Is it because of state tax?
Because you don't have to pay outrageous state
Yeah,
taxes.
There's no state tax, and the guys that are from Florida are pretty incredible,
Like who?
like me.
The ones that are still there.
Oh, my God. Florida's like the Alabama.
Florida's
of-
hot and gross, and it's no fun. It's nice 8 months out of the year. The summers are terrible. The summers in Vegas are terrible, too. So
Yeah. So I'm telling you, that,
Yeah.
that 17% is worth it.
So USA lost. They're done. Means we don't have to talk about soccer for the next 3 years and 10 months. So we're done with soccer. But the Open Championship is coming up, I think, next week. It's at a course called Royal Birkdale. It was last played in 2017 when Jordan Spieth, a young guy coming up who was going to have a huge career, won. And this year it has Scotty Scheffler going off as the favorite, followed by Rory. And there was somebody else. I didn't write it down. But who do you got
Probably
going
Cam
into
Young.
the Open? Yeah, he's up there.
I got the field.
The field. You have to go against who?
Sheffy. I feel like golf is so lacking, especially with what happened with LIV. There is no real definitive superstar. Like, who's your favorite current golfers?
Scotty Scheffler is the best in the world.
But he's not a superstar on a level of
Tiger or even Phil or
He doesn't have the personality or the pizzazz as Tiger did.
No, he's a doofus. He's a dorky guy with a.
Or the late night nightclubs in Vegas.
and Brooks is done too, right? He ain't ever playing golf again, right?
He's back. He's just not playing well after the knee surgeries.
Yeah.
You don't like him? Are you the DeChambeau guy?
No, I hate him. I hate them all, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd say Tiger has better street cred than Scotty Scheffler. Remember the way Scotty went to jail last year? Did he just refuse to stop trying to get into the course?
I gotta go to work.
Now, Tiger Woods' mugshots look like he earned them.
You look like Russell Wilson.
Sober.
Man, that last video was so funny. Hold on, I'm talking to Trump on the phone. His car is like, but I feel like golf is one of those sports that really could use a sort of a reboot.
It just needs somebody exciting because none of them are exciting to
Yeah,
your point.
yeah.
They're all kind of just very vanilla, basic. If John Daly could go out there and kind of revitalize things, he'd be fun.
Baseball was that way, too, when the star player was Mike Trout, and he played 20 games a year.
Right.
Now you got Owatani and Judge and some characters that bring the sport alive.
Does it bother you that Otani's the biggest guy in baseball?
Why would it?
Why?
He's, a little
Asian?
further east than we like.
I like that he's not paying California $98 million in taxes, so he's my guy.
Why do you care about somebody else's pocketbook?
Well, even better. He's going to have his bookie come spend that money in Vegas.
Exactly. He's been saving it for Vegas.
Well, there's two reasons. I'm a Republican for two reasons: lower taxes and less government. And right now, we're not getting that from anybody.
We have no government right now.
Yeah, I might have to just go join the fun party. What'd you call it? Party,
Party, man. I'm telling you. I'll send you the brochures.
All right, I'm in. 11 GOP senators wrote a letter to the WNBA commissioner saying that Caitlin Clark was being bullied and it was racist. This might be one of the dumbest things that I've heard. Like, first of all, just stay out of it. But second, it's like when your mom went to the principal's office to say that you're being bullied, they just bullied you more.
Completely.
We lost Nate again, but that's okay.
And I think, too, like the weird thing, we all saw the picture of that girl's fist on her throat.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video?
Yes, I have.
It's the complete opposite of what I thought it was when I saw the picture first. And then when I saw the video, it was a lot more innocuous to me. I mean, it was stupid as pie. And it's that stupid adage of, I'm going to show her we're the tough veterans. Aren't we past this kind of like hazing crap?
She came in, she was the hot young rookie, and I get all that, but she also brought in a new excitement that the WA had never seen. They had a CBA contract that just came up where they got like triple or quadruple what they make. They fly private now. At some point you just say, thank you, or do you just go down this path going, oh, it's not because of her, and now you become even more enraged.
Right. Well, I mean this too, like, especially as a Republican, and like, you do see the obvious race baiting in there, don't you? Again, like, why I hate both sides is like, it's so stupid and obvious on this side, but then they pretend that it isn't. And then on the other side, it's the complete over thing of like, oh, she got death threats. Like, yeah, it's what happens. Like, everybody gets death threats. I've gotten death threats. I was a narrator for a show on the History Channel, and the producers would make me say Madagascar instead of Madagascar. And I got the biggest, you're a dumb idiot. Like, this dude texted me every day for a week, telling me what a piece of crap I am. This is all because I said Madagascar instead of Madagascar.
So what's the story behind the difference in that?
They were English.
Okay.
No, it's Madagascar. Pronounced it Madagascar. Like, okay.
Gotcha.
And then some guys like, oh my, he said Madagascar. Like, yeah, there are morons everywhere. And then she plays the victim. Like, the girl who did that played the victim. Then everybody is like, goes to her side as the victim. It's nonsense on all sides.
It was a bad letter. It's not going to do anything they wanted to do. They're just going to cause more problems for Caitlin Clark, and the GOPs look stupid. It feels like just a publicity grab.
Yeah.
And the Indiana Fever, your home state for the Bears, they came out and was like, hey, we don't condone this. We're not a part of this. Nobody talked to us about this because it's dumb. They shouldn't have done it.
I was an editor for Fox Sports for a long time. And so like my career spanned long enough where we just were doing highlights and shows where we talk about sports to talking about like the demonization of sports and stuff like that. And anything you say with Caitlin Clark, she is a wedge issue. You either hate her or you love her. So anytime you bring her up, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Specific as to why you're doing it. It's like that, oh, we're going to take care of this white girl. And like the other thing too, she's the gooniest looking human being I've ever seen in my life. I have a lot of difficulty looking at her.
But she does have a boyfriend. So to your point, there's always somebody.
So she says.
I think that she has a picture of him. Yeah. She is not winning over any WNBA fans by saying she has a boyfriend.
Right.
So it's not like she's doing somebody
that's why the players are so mad at her.
Probably 100% in that.
Then look at Sophie Cunningham, right? And
yeah, she was at the fight last night.
Yeah, because she's a CAA agent or a CAA client, so she's doing the CAA work. Absolutely.
We had a topic I did want to discuss. So the other day, I had to go to the bathroom and I rushed in there, and it's one of those ones where I had a little longer than I thought I would have to, but I forgot my phone. And about 5 minutes into it.
Wait. You were in your bathroom, right?
My bathroom,
okay,
yeah. My phone was in the other room. So then I started reading the lotion. I started reading the shampoo and looking around. And then I'm thinking, should I make a run for it? And it got me to thinking, could you go a day without your phone? And I thought about this before I went to Sequoia. When I went up to Sequoia, there was no cell service. So I had the whole day without my phone. And I must say, it was amazing. It just felt free to be able to do some stuff. But do you think you could go a day, 2 days, 3 days without your phone?
Man, it would be very difficult because I talk to more so the actual physical talking to somebody. But I was going to ask, did you feel those addictive tendencies coming back of like going to check for it?
Yes.
So I think it's almost like the unplugging from the Matrix.
Initially, yes. And then when I realized I don't have service, I stopped. And there was probably a good 4 or 5 hours I didn't even pull out my phone. I had a watch, so I knew what time it was. I'm the type of person that has to check it all the time because I have to turn the ringtone off at work, and you can't miss a phone call in my industry. I'm always just checking it nonstop now. I'd love to see what it'd be like just a week without a phone.
Oh my God, a week. I feel like 2 days is, but again, it's only just so I could talk. Like if I could use my phone just to like talk to my dad or my mom, like that is the perfect wheelhouse where it's like a non-smartphone where you can't check your email. You can't check your texts.
We should run an experiment, but right when our ladies are about to start their cycle.
You mean the perfect time to do it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a phone for.
No, we're doing this contest.
I don't know. Do men have periods?
I feel like they should, right? Because like we have almost all the other equivalents. Would it be a nosebleed? Is it horniness? Like what is sort of the male equivalent of the female period?
I believe Nate has rectal bleeding every Sunday.
Totally different reason though.
Not here to defend himself.
It's definitely cause and effect for Nate, though. I'm not saying I'm going to say it's unnatural. His bleeding's unnatural. No, but I feel like, is there like this thing where we have to internally shed something out? Is it kind of like with the fun spunk, the daily almost needing to get rid of that? Is that the equivalent of the every 30-day massacre that they go through?
And we have biological clocks as well. We're put on this earth to do one thing, and that's to procreate.
Right.
And
they stop swimming every once in a while.
yes, you're me, you get it snipped.
Ooh.
And then you just tell your new girlfriend, you'll try. We could keep trying.
But that's also like, it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Pretty smart.
You can't tell. There's no scar. So you're just
Right.
like, yeah. I don't know. It must be you. It's not my fault. I have 3 kids.
Yeah. Look, I mean, like, proof's in the pudding. No pun intended.
Well, listen, Bobby, we greatly appreciate it.
You guys are the best. I can't tell you how much I love the show and appreciate your time. Anytime you need me. Have a great day, brother. Thank you, Bob. T-Bone.
Bob and Nate, true American heroes.